The weapon of choice is Barrier Breaker, picked for its really high overall damage and excellent bonus abilities, making it very flexible. You automatically obtain it via progression. This high base damage is going to scale super nicely with all of our damage boosts, so you'll definitely want to consider something like this immeasurable OPness. You could equally take a different high damage weapon, or of course, the obvious choice of Medallum, which has the absolutely insane level 4 ability of starting you off in Virtuoso Stance. If you don't really get any benefit from being on low HP because of your Luminas, this may be a better option for you. Your attribute point allocation is very straightforward as ever. First, you're going to go for the primary attribute. Defense, maxing that out before moving over to Might, getting that as high as you can. Then, finally, put the remainder of your points into the secondary attribute, Agility. This is true for the weapon up to level 32. Once you've maxed it out to level 33, the secondary attribute takes priority over Might. For your Pictos, you're going to be equipping for high critical rate and speed, aiming to get to 100% crit rate if possible, making up the difference from the boost you'll get from defense. If any of the skills are what you're after anyway, then that's a great bonus too, like Shortcut over here, which is going to give us a third hit alongside Cheetah if we need it. With my specific setup, the build centers around 2 skills for the screen wipes. You will first be opening up with Last Chance, which reduces your HP to 1, but refills all 9 AP. It also puts you into Virtuoso Stance. Then, our follow-up screen-clearing skill will be Phantom Strike, dealing very high void damage to all enemies over 4 hits. It also gives you 35% of a gradient charge, costs 7 AP, and puts you into defensive stance. And of course, make sure you take Stendhal along as well. It is one of, if not the very strongest skills in the game. An absolutely perfect single target solution, which will completely obliterate anything in front of you. For our Luminas, you won't actually need good AP generation from the get-go, but it's useful to have for any free aim shots needed versus shields or what have you. We can get the full 9 AP on start using Energizing Turn, Energizing Rush, and Energizing Powerful, alongside Auto Rush and Auto Powerful, which is also flexible with a combination of energizing starts depending on which Luminas you have available. For everything else, we are focused on pumping up our damage as high as we can. You're looking at skills like Confident Fighter, Burst, Offensive, Glass Cannon, Greater Powerful, Immaculate, Inverted Affinity, Shield. Affinity, Powerful Shield, in Media Res. Solo Fighter will be huge if you're just using Maelle. Anything and everything that you've got, don't worry if you don't have all of these Luminas. Use as many as you have. It is far more important that you understand the core principles behind the build, rather than having every single one of the same Luminas per se. And all that's left is for us to take this and put it into practice. When entering a battle, you'll go first, either because your speed is high enough or via first strike. You'll have 8 AP to play around with. You'll still need to hold on to one to remove any shields or whatever. Go straight into Last Chance to put Maelle into Virtuoso Stance and back up to 9 AP if you've used any of it, at the cost of putting her on 1 HP. We'll then play again immediately with Cheetah, or Shortcut to use Phantom Strike, unleashing very high void damage to all enemies, which will clear many of even the strongest of endgame mobs. In any cases where you need to adjust to single target damage, you can instead use Stendhal in place of Phantom Strike, which will just delete foes from existence. Alternatively, if you don't really get any benefit out of going to low HP, you can just use the Medallum to go straight into Virtuoso Stance immediately, skipping out an entire step. This makes it a true one-turn solution, instantly letting Phantom Strike rip as you enter the battle, ending it there and then. There aren't particularly any caveats here, as no enemies are resistant to void damage, some are even weak to it. If I had to pick one downside, it would be that Phantom Strike is very high damage for a 7 AP skill, so it can lag behind a little bit as a screen wipe finisher unless your weapon damage is very high and you have enough Luminas to boost it up. And there you have it. That's my one-turn OP Maelle build, laying waste to all enemies on screen and having an insane single-target solution.